Hello students, welcome back to your science class. So student, in the previous class we have started with the chapter that is electricity, and in this one students we had discussed about the charges, how charges is produced, what is the importance of the electricity as well as electric current. We have seen that how the transfer of charges occur here, and how charge is related to the current, means how the charges they constitute together to form an electric current, and relationship between that of the current and the charges. So electric current is nothing but the flow of charges in a wire, in a conducting wire, at a particular interval of a time, that will help in determine the how much current have been flown through a wire, a conducting wire. Now we will start with that of the electrical potential and potential difference. Electric potential, electric potential and potential difference. Electric potential and potential difference. So what is there in the electric potential and potential difference here, students? If we talk about the electric potential, see, yesterday we were talking about an example, so in which we have seen, if suppose we have taken a water tank, and this is a water tank, and it doesn't matter whether it is a small or which is its width, it doesn't matter, it only the level of the water. So if this is water tank consisting of a water at this level, and here the water tank consisting of the water at this level, so what happened? Since the amount of water is more in the tank A than that of the tank B, so what happened? The water will start flowing from tank A to tank B instead of the movement of the water from the tank B to tank A. So we can say here why is happened, because the amount of the water in tank A is more, so it is having more potential. There is a potential difference between these two. One is having a large amount of a potential, higher potential, other is having the lower potential, and that is why this potential is decided on the basis of the amount of water. So the amount of water in case of A is more as compared to in B, so potential will be higher, here the potential will be lower, so the water will start flowing from the higher potential to that of the lower potential. And why does this movement is occurring? Why this movement occurs, student? It occurs because there is a difference. What happen if there will be no difference? What happen if the water will continues to flow, and this both of them will become equal in level? So in that case, no such kind of a flow of water will occur from A to B. So we can say that the movement can be generated only when there is a difference in the potential. So this is about a water tank, student. With the help of this, we can also understand about the electric potential difference. Now see here, electric potential is what? It is how it is generated. Obviously, it is not related to the water tank here. So here it is related to the chemical reaction which take place inside the cell, inside the battery, will inside the cell, that will generate a positive charge and the negative charge. So a terminal is produced there in the cell, and that one is the positive charge and other is the negative charge. It means few atoms, they have gained a lot of an electron, and few of them has loses the electron, and this process of the loosening or the gaining of the electron or formation of the positive and the negative charge occurs due to the chemicals which is present in that of the cell. They used to react with each other, and thus a difference is formed here. Difference of what? Difference of ions, difference of charges. Okay, so because of the difference only, this difference will help the current to flow through that of the wire. Okay, because of the difference only we are able to flow the electric current to move through the wire. So this is our difference, this is our potential difference. And since here there is a movement of the electricity, movement of the electric charges is included, that's why it is called as a electrical potential difference. Okay, so now if you want to define the electric potential difference, so we can define it as the electric potential difference between 2 points in an electric circuit carrying some current is the work done to move a unit charge from one point to other. So we can say here that the work done, electric potential difference is what? It is nothing but when the an electric circuit is there, which is basically carrying a current. So the work is done to move a unit charge from the plus to the minus, from the one point to that of the another point. That will be done with the help of the electric potential difference. Okay, so this is how we can also find the equation related to that. So potential difference, we can say that it is a work done to move that of an electric charge. So on the basis of that, we can say that is potential difference, which is basically represented as V. This is equals to work done upon charge. So this is potential difference, which is represented by V, work done by W and charge by Q. So V is equals to W upon Q. This is how we can find the potential difference. Why we have used here V? Because the SI unit of potential difference is what? That is volt. Okay, it is volt, which is represented by V. And this name is given after a researcher that was Alessandro Volta. So his name has been taken to give the SI unit of the potential difference. He was a physicist. Now, if we will say that what will be the 1 volt? So 1 volt will be the amount of how much work done will be there. So 1 joule of work done is work done to move 1 coulomb of an electric charges from one point to the another. That will gives the 1 volt, and that will be the definition of the 1 volt. So 1 joule of work done to move 1 coulomb of electric charge is 1 volt. 1 volt will be equals to 1 joule upon 1 coulomb. Okay, so this is how we can find the value of that. So we can also say that 1 volt will be equals to what? Joule per coulomb. Okay, joule per coulomb. Now, how this potential difference will be found, students? See, if we want to find the amount of a current flowing through a circuit, we use ammeter. So, how we can find the potential difference? So, potential difference can be calculated, can be found with the help of a device or an instrument which is called as voltmeter. Okay, so voltmeter is the device by which we can always we can find the volt here. Now, in case of an ammeter, we have seen that we must attach it in a series, but in case of a voltmeter, remember that it is always connected parallel to the wire. Okay, parallel to that of the circuit. It is never connected to the in series. So in case of an ammeter, we have connected it in series, while in case of a voltmeter, it is connected in parallel. Okay. Okay. So potential difference is measured in voltmeter, which is connected parallel to the circuit. Parallel to the circuit is connected parallel to the circuit. Okay, so if we make the circuit here, students, so the voltmeter will be connected parallel to this. This will be a key, so it will be connected parallel to that of the circuit. Okay, this is the parallel one. So if a question is there related to that of the potential difference, that is, if the question is that how much work is done in moving a charge of 2 coulomb across 2 points having potential difference 12 volt. Potential difference 12 volt. Now see here, the question is that how much work is done in moving that of the 2 coulomb, a charge of a 2 coulomb. So charge is given, that is 2 coulomb, and a potential difference, that is V is given. Charge is given, and yes, V is also given, which is 12 volt. And we have to find here W. So V is equals to W upon Q, or W is equals to V into Q. So W will be equals to 12 into 2. So W will be equals to 24 joule. So 24 joule will be of the work done will be applied in moving the 2 coulomb of a charge from the one end to the other end, or through a potential difference of a 12 volt here. Now, to make a circuit diagram, students, there are a lot of symbols we can use to represent the components, the electrical components. You see, whenever we make a circuit diagram, there are a lot of things we included in a circuit diagram. Suppose, if we make a circuit diagram, so we add the cell, we can also add a battery here. We can also add a battery here. Then we can add a key, or we can also add a bulb, and then we can add the bulb will be there. We can add a voltmeter, also an ammeter. So you can see that there will, or a switch. So you can see that there are different methods, different things or different electrical component that we can include into the electric circuit. So electric circuit is not only restricted with the wire or with the cell, but it is a combination of the wire, cell and the different electrical component which completes the circuit, which help in giving a lot of information regarding the circuit. So in order to make a circuit diagrams, there are different electrical component and it is quite difficult for us to remember. So we had given a symbol to each of the electrical component in order to understand that what are the components are attached or with that of the electric circuit. So let me tell you a few things about it. Like if we talk about the electric cell, student. So in case of an electric cell, the symbol that we use is this. One is positive, one is negative charge. Then for a battery is made up of what? Two or more cells, they combine together to form the battery. So we can say here, this is the battery. Two or more cells have combined with each other. Then plug or switch. Okay, plug or switch. Now this plug or switch is what? It is open. So when it is open, it can be represented in a very simple way, that is through bracket. But when this plug or switch is closed, then this will be shown by this dot, which help us in telling it is a closed here. Now if we want to show a wire which is joined, so wire which is joined can be shown by one wire, this is another wire, and this is also another one, and these all are joined together like this. So this is what? This is the joining of the wire, and this, or we can say, joint wire. Now if the wires are there but they had crossed each other, instead of joined at a point, they have crossed each other. So the crossing of the wire without joining, can be shown by, okay, so this is also a component. If we want to show that of an electric bulb, students, so electric bulb, it will be represented by, okay, or a resistor. A resistor can be shown by, if we want to show a variable resistor, or rheostat. So in that case, we can show it by two things. So this will be, it can be the variable, or we can show it through these are the two things by which we can show the variable resistor or rheostat, in which we can change the resistance also, that is variable resistor. Now next one is ammeter. Ammeter and voltmeter. I hope you all are knowing, even though I am writing it. Ammeter is what, students? It is basically a device to find out the amount of a current flowing through the circuit, and it is represented by A. Here one is positive and one is the negative charge also. And voltmeter is, you know that it is a device to measure the potential difference, and it is represented by V. One is positive and other is negative. So these are few of the electrical component that we will going to study also in this chapter, and how it is attached with that of the different circuit and what is their use. So this is about the circuit diagram. Now let us try to understand another thing. So Ohm's law. Ohm's law. what is there in the Ohm's law? So for that student, we will going to make a circuit, and in that circuit, a nichrome wire. We will take a nichrome wire, and that wire is X and Y. This is X and this is Y. There is a R. Okay, and we will connect it with the ammeter and then negative charge, then a key. Through this, we will also connect it a voltmeter, positive and the negative charge, and a key is there. Key is there, and then we will connect a cell through it. So suppose we have connected one cell. Suppose we have connected with the one cell. So what happened? We have used a nichrome wire, which is an X and Y, and when the current start flowing, start flowing through that of the circuit, students, we will note that how much current flows here, what will be the current, and what will be the voltmeter. Okay, in the first cell. Now again we will add another cell to it, which is a plus here, and is a negative charge, and again we will note down the value of the current and the voltage which passes through that of the ammeter or that of the voltmeter, and then again we will use a cell and see that what is the change that you will find in the current and voltmeter, and similarly we will do this method with another cell. So we have done this the movement of the current from the 1, 2, 3 and 4 cells, and we note down that what are the different changes occur when we have increases the number of cells here. Okay, number of a cell. Now see here, what is the observation that we get through this activity? It has been found that there is no change in the current. There is no general change in the current. It means if the current increases, then the voltage also increases. So if we were going to make a graph of this activity, means with the voltage to that of the current, we will found a straight line which tells that the increase in the current will also increases the voltage, and the same relationship it was explained by Ohm. Simon Ohm, who was a German physicist, and he worked on this, and he find out that find out a relationship between that of the potential difference to the current flowing in the circuit, and he represented this relationship. Even the condition is that when an electric current flowing through it along the same with the same temperature along that of the circuit, the potential difference, it is directly proportional to the electric current. So this is we called as a Ohm's law. So we can write here the potential difference across the end in a given metallic wire is directly proportional to the potential difference. That is called as the Ohm's law. It means V is directly proportional to I. Now, when we remove this proportionality, you know that in place of that there will be a constant will come, that is called as R. So, V is equals to I R. R is what? It is a constant. R is a constant, and this constant which used to present in that of the wire, this is also called as resistance. Resistance is what? Basically, the name itself says resistance. What happened when the current start flowing through that of the conductor? There are a lot of different atoms present in it, which hinders the path of the electric current, and due to which the speed gets slows down, and that we call as resistance. So in the Ohm's law, we came to know that if the potential difference increases, the current will also increases, and yes, the resistance will also be produced with it. It means resistance is equals to what? That is the potential difference upon current. Okay, so we can say here that it is a property of the conductor to resist the flow of the charges, and it can be shown by that of the potential difference upon the electric current. Now, if we were going to find out, actually this resistance, it is represented by a SI unit which is called as ohm. This is an omega, but we call it as a ohm. Sign of a omega is there, but it is a ohm. Ohm. Given by ohm, that's why it is called as the Ohm's law, and the resistance is represented by ohm here. So it will be, if 1 ohm, if you are talking about 1 ohm, so 1 ohm will be equals to 1 volt upon 1 ampere. 1 volt upon 1. It means 1 ohm, it will be equals to if the potential difference across the end of the wire is 1 volt and the current flowing through it is 1 ampere, then the resistance will be equals to 1 ohm. 1 ohm is equals to 1 volt upon 1 ampere. Now, by this, students, here this relationship explains a lot of a thing. That is, the resistance is inversely proportional to current. Right? See, here it is given that R is equals to V upon I. It means R is what? It is inversely proportional to I. So, if the current will increase, resistance will decrease. If the resistance will decrease, current will increase. So, we can say here when the speed of the current is large, is huge, so a large the resistance will be less there. It means less amount of charges will be hindered, or it will be resist by that of the conductor, by that of the atoms. So, more current will be flow. So, if the more current will flow, resistance will be less. If resistance will be more, so it will be quite difficult for the charges to move in the conductor, and ultimately less amount of the charge will flow. So the resistance will decrease, the current will decrease. So resistance increases, current decreases, current increases, resistance decreases. Now there is another component which we use, and that is called as a variable resistance or rheostat. So variable resistor and rheostat. What are these two different things? So here, without changing, it is a device in which without changing the voltage, if we are able to change the current in order to find the resistance, that we call as a variable resistor. While in case of a rheostat, here the resistance can be changed, can be increases or decreases, that we call as a rheostat. So here the resistance can be changes, and here resistance can be changes in a different manner in which there is no change in the voltage, but the current can be changed, due to which the resistance obviously changes. Okay, so these are the two components also that we will use in the device in order to increase or decrease the resistance or current. Now, suppose students, you have taken there is a circuit, and you have taken, first of all, you have taken a nichrome wire. Then you remove it from the circuit, and then you add a electric bulb, and then again you will remove it and you will use a torch bulb. So what happened? What kind of a changes that you will find? So is the same amount of a current will be flown through it? Is the same amount of a reading that you will find in the voltmeter or ammeter, students? Ammeter, because we are going to find here the charges. So is the same amount of a current will be flowed through that of the ammeter? If you will take a nichrome wire or torch bulb or electric bulb, you will find that no. there is a variation in the charges when we take a nichrome wire, when we take the electric wire and the torch bulb. This helps us in explaining that is the different amount of electric current is flow in the different substances, different object, and the reason is that there are the different conductor. It depends upon that how much electric current it allows to flow. Suppose there is this is a conductor, students, and the conductor, the different materials, they allow the different amount of electric current. How is it so? See, when the electric charges they start flowing, there are a lot of different atoms present in between them, and these atoms will hinder the flow of these charges. Ultimately what happens, their speed gets slows down and the less amount of the current will flow. There are some of the conductor which do not have this much amount of atoms in it, so there will be less hindrance, there will be less resistance will be there, and ultimately more current can be flow. So we can say here that different objects will provide the different resistance, and due to which the current that we observe, we find on the emitter that also varies. Okay, so different objects, different substances, they flows, or they allow the different amount of electric current to flow through it. There is another thing, and that is this resistance. There are some of the factors on which the resistance depends on. Let me tell you what are these factors. So the factors are on which the resistance depends, students. Factors on which the resistance depends. So basically resistance depends upon, it is directly proportional to the length of the object, length of the conductor, and it is inversely proportional to the area of cross section. So we can say that R is proportional to L upon A, and when we remove this proportional, it will become a proportionality constant, which is rho and called as resistivity. Resistivity. So when we increases the length, what happens? When we increases the length, more atoms will be present along whole length, right? And this is because more hindrance will be there, and thus the resistance will also increase it. So with the increase in the length of the object, with the increase in the length of the conductor, the resistance also increases. What happened in the area of cross section? So okay, if more area of cross section will be there, less amount, because more space for the current to can flow through easily it, so less hindrance will be produced, and obviously the resistance will become less. So if area of cross section will increases, resistance will decreases. If area of cross section will decrease, it will be less, so more resistance will be there. If length will be more, resistance will be more. If length will be less, resistance will be less here. Okay, so this is about the factors on which the resistance depends upon. Now let us see about this rho. Rho is what? It is the resistivity, and both it is a constant of proportionality. Okay, although the resistivity here, this ohm, it is the SI unit of rho, it is represented by ohm meter. Ohm meter, this is how we will find the SI unit of the resistivity, and it is what it is actually explaining the characteristic material of a conductor. It varies with the temperature. See, resistance as well as resistivity, both of them varies with the temperature. Resistance is what? Is a kind of a hindrance produced by the object, while the resistivity is the property of the material. Every object are having the different resistivity. Okay, so this is the factors on which the resistance depends. Tomorrow we will continue with the resistance in parallel and in series.